Hey YouTubers, this is Rick, and I'm going to do a video today on thyroid eye disease, or TED, which is something I got now, which is a drag. I'm hoping that the story has a happy ending, and I'm hoping that some people learn stuff with this, and maybe I learn something from you guys in the comments and all that kind of stuff. So this is going to be like an independent journey through TED. There's some videos on YouTube about TED, but they're kind of all doctor sponsored. So, and they're kind of at the end too. So this one's at the beginning, and we'll see how it goes. TED sucks, and I have a very mild case. In fact, you probably can't even see, but this eye, I guess it's a little dirty, but it's bulging out a little bit. Like that's probably normal for me as far as holding my eyes. And you can see this one's more, or not narrower, and this one's kind of bulging out a little bit, but it's not very noticeable, and that's not the problem. Problem with TED for me is double vision. It's different for different people, but right now, when I look straight ahead, that's kind of on the edge of double vision, so it's kind of getting a little blurry. If I look to the right, it's way double vision. Like there's a big space between, well, there's two of everything, and it's not good. It gets hard at night, especially with lights. And this double vision is creeping in and getting worse and worse. It used to be when I looked way out to the right, and it's been sweeping in, and now it's pretty much straight ahead is where the double vision starts. And a lot of people get the double vision with TED and never get it. It never gets better. So, unless they get a surgery for orbital decompression or something like that. So it's just, there's a lot of bad stuff about TED. And again, hopefully I clean up, and hopefully this gives inspiration to other folks. But if I don't, I don't. We'll see what happens. So what I plan on doing today is going through the symptoms, the doctors I got going on right now, and then kind of what's next. And then in the future, or after I go to the doctors again, I'll post another video and let you guys know how things are going. Okay, so the symptoms and the doctors, I'm kind of going to introduce you to them at the same time. First, about middle of October, August, I started noticing my eye. This eye was sore. And at the time I thought, man, I got the eye infection from my dog, because my dog had an eye infection, always, and for years. I thought maybe I got that. So I didn't really do anything. And then about middle of September, I take that back. So kind of late September, I woke up, and my eye I felt weird, and I felt it like this, and you could feel it just bulging out. It was a Saturday morning about 6:30, and a bulging eye is kind of like not fun at all, and it's kind of freaking you out. So I ended up calling the doctor's office at 7 o'clock, and it turned out a lady her name was Dr. Kuhnlein answered the phone. I woke her up, which obviously I felt bad about, 7 on Saturday morning. But it's kind of cool to be able to get to talk to a doctor. Not that I knew she was a doctor till pretty much the end of the call. She was awesome. She talked to me for 20 minutes. She asked me all kinds of questions, and then basically told me to come in on Monday. And that was Saturday. I called her. When I went in, I would say within 15 minutes, diagnosed me with TED. She did a really good job. She's really smart. She's been really nice. I've been able to communicate her over a message app that her office has, and she's kind of kept in touch with me. So at the end of that visit, I actually told her that I had a doctor's visit with my primary care physician, because I hadn't been to the primary care physician in like 3 years. So I needed to go to keep my primary care physician established. So I had told her that I was going there, and they normally do blood tests. So she basically coordinated with him and ordered a bunch of blood tests. So I did go see my primary care physician, who's a guy named Dr. Rogers, who's awesome. Another awesome doctor. I'm really lucky that way. And I told him about the TED diagnosis, which piqued his interest, and he ordered a bunch of thyroid tests and everything that Dr. Kuhnlein thought we should order. Those tests came back, I guess a little puzzling, not completely straightforward. There's a thing called TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. And my thyroid stimulating hormone is really low, like basically zero in the first test. And that hormone, my understanding is something in your body makes it. And the idea is that when it makes it, it stimulates the thyroid to generate whatever the thyroid generates. I don't know what the thyroid generates, but so it either that place is broken and it's not generating the thyroid stimulating hormone, or it's actually sensing that there's plenty of whatever the thyroid generates and it doesn't need to stimulate the thyroid. I'm not sure which one. But the weird thing for me was that the other thyroid tests all came back normal, which you would expect something to be out of whack as far as how much of the thyroid stuff is being generated. But everything's right in the middle, normal. So the Dr. Rogers did feel my thyroid, which is right in here. It's a butterfly-shaped object in there, and said I had a goiter, which is an enlarged thyroid, a little bit, not bad, smooth, which is, I think, a good thing, and ordered an ultrasound on it. The ultrasound I took maybe a week or two later, and at that ultrasound, they found nodules on the thyroid, which, you know, is a little concerning. I mean, maybe it's the cause of everything that's going on. But it shouldn't, you know, the one thing we could be concerned about is cancer with nodules on your thyroid. The doctor explained that it would be pretty unusual in my instance, just the way things are with me. He diagnosed me with hyperthyroidism. So that doesn't have me too worried at this point. But, you know, I got a problem with my thyroid, it seems like, based on the blood test and based on him feeling it and based on the ultrasound, and I have thyroid eye disease. Now, one of the bummers about thyroid eye disease is you can solve the original problem, but you still got the original problem with the thyroid, but you still got thyroid eye disease. So it needs to be dealt with. Basically, at about, a couple weeks after seeing Kuhnlein the first time, Dr. Kuhnlein, she referred me, maybe even a month later, I don't know. She referred me to a Dr. Cole, who's about an hour and a half away from here, who I guess is more experienced with this kind of thing. And I went and visited Dr. Cole, who's actually, I guess, does this, specializes in eye issues, but he also specializes in plastic surgery. So most of the people there are getting plastic surgery and not what I'm doing. But anyway, so I've seen him once. He was puzzled also by the blood test and thinks it's thyroid eye disease, but the one blood test is kind of weird that things, one of them's out of whack and the other ones are normal. So he reordered the blood work and it came back the same. So 2 tries on the blood work and it's the same. Thyroid stimulating hormone's really low. The other ones are within spec. So anyway, that's kind of like the symptoms in the doctors. This double vision is really worrying me, and it's just because of the big lifestyle impact, right? If you can't see, it's a problem. Like even watching TV at night, which is not the biggest deal, but it's hard to focus on the TV. It's easier to focus when you're in close. Like I don't see any double vision when I'm in close like this, but when you're further away from something, then the double vision will pop up. So one thing I wanted to do was give a shout out to the Facebook group, Thyroid Eye Disease Support Group. If you got thyroid eye disease, you might want to join that. I've learned a lot from them. So what's next? The good news for thyroid eye disease is that there is a drug available now. It's called Tepezza. I want it. I think I want it because, there's some serious side effects with Tepezza that I still don't really understand how often they occur. But there's people on the thyroid Facebook page that have gotten the bad side effects and really got no benefit. So like one of the side effects is hearing problems, ringing in the ear. I forget what they call that. But I mean, people have that their only symptom was double vision, took Tepezza, and they still got the double vision, and now they can't. They got ringing in their ears permanently. So, Tepezza is a little risky, in my opinion, at this point, but it also kind of like is the only hope. So right now we're in the process of trying to get the paperwork done. I called up Dr. Cole's office and pleaded with them on Wednesday. Today's Friday, and they basically got the paperwork going after I called them. And now there's a lady named Emily that represents the company that I assume is working with my life insurance company, LifeWise, not life insurance, but health insurance company, LifeWise, to get Tepezza prescribed for me. And then it's going to be an infusion, and then we'll see how it goes. So that's what I want more than anything right now, I guess. And I have an appointment again on October 2nd with Dr. Cole, which is a couple weeks away, which seems like a long time away right now. And I forgot one other thing on the update was that they were going to do a biopsy on my thyroid. And I went back to the place, and you got to use the ultrasound to figure out where the needle goes in to find the nodule in the thyroid. And when I went back, we went to a different room, different ultrasound machine, and the doctor and the nurse practitioner, whoever was running the ultrasound, they couldn't find the nodules again, which I personally think it's a different machine, and it might not be the same, and they didn't have the same settings, because it's hard for me to imagine that one machine sees something and it's not real when there was like multiple nodules found, like 4 of them, and then I go another time and they can't find anything. Because when I went back, I actually watched them ultrasounding me the second time, and you couldn't really even see the thyroid very well. So I don't know. I got to talk to Dr. Rogers about that and figure out what he thinks we should do. I'd actually like to try a third time and see if they can spot it, but we'll see. Anyway, that's it. Hopefully this will, like I said, hopefully in the future there'll be positive stories and you can watch those, and we'll see what happens. See ya.